I was sent this tweet and I wanted to share this birthing story from this woman named Anise. She says, 6 years ago, I was 35 hours deep into a 54-hour active labor, and all I wanted in the whole world was a Cinnabon. I asked all of my family, my boyfriend, my best friend, if someone could please bring me a Cinnabon after baby was born, and there were multiple Cinnabon locations within 10 minutes of the hospital I was locked inside of for 5 days. In the end, no one got me a Cinnabon. In fact, no one brought me except cafeteria pre-made sandwiches, but they did monopolize my brand new baby and start drama with the head nurse. So I didn't get to have a recovery room for many hours and had to sit on a bed in a hallway where the bathroom was way down the hall, and no one helped me walk there. I had to hobble to it myself, fresh out of a highly invasive and long labor experience. And they squeezed into my hospital bed to watch TV, even though I said so many times I needed to sleep because I hadn't in 3 days, and maybe I could see them later. I'd totally forgotten about it, but now I realize I'm still so salty about it. She says, if someone has a baby and the labor was messy and they say they are hungry and tired, just bring them food and leave them alone. Okay, regardless of if the labor was messy, regardless of if it was easy or whatever, can y'all please just honor the woman's request? Something simple. A Cinnabon would have been amazing because that's all she wanted in the world. And all she wanted in the world is something that costs like $5. You could have even given her two and made her whole day for the next day as well. This is terrible. And as I was reading this just made my heart just clench up because this society wants babies so bad, but they literally treat women, they literally treat moms like we are not human, like we are seriously an incubator. They forget our human emotions and all that we go through to deliver these miracles that we deliver every day. And since women deliver babies every day, the miracle is taken out of it, like it's so commonplace. But what our bodies do is so much work. It's so amazing how it pulls together, how these babies, these fetuses leach from us, our bones, our hair falls out, our teeth could get weak to produce a baby and to go through all of that. And some of us never heal quite the same. We don't get our bodies back the same. We don't get that sleep the same, but we're treated like this. And it's even worse on the back end because everything that we do after that is still treated invisibly, like people don't see it. But I just wanted to share this. So I just wanted to share this, and she shared a picture of her baby. She says, still took me almost 2 years to defeat the people pleaser within, and I realized I needed to be more of a B word sometimes. And you don't even have to be a B word. You can, like, advocating for yourself and being assertive is not being a B. And we've got to try to unpack some of that internalized misogyny that simply asking or demanding something makes you a B. It doesn't. You're advocating for yourself in your time of need because you know, as a woman, you probably would have given in their time of need if somebody needed something and they were going through a life-changing situation like giving birth is. All right, join the conversation. Let me know what you think about this tweet. A fellow feminist that I follow on Twitter made this tweet a couple of days ago. She says, I have lost so much respect for men over the past 10 years. Seeing how they talk to each other in their spaces about women is appalling. They're becoming more bold and radical, saying things online they never would have admitted to in the past. There's no mystery to them anymore. This is what she said. There's nothing disparaging. She's just talking about what she has seen as men are talking about us more boldly. And then this person right here says, you should be decapitated. That was a reply. You should be decapitated. This man literally ran into the point. He saw the point. He ran smack dab into it and proved it because, you know, the things that people say about us is just so bold. We're talking about the lack of respect and the issues that we have. And then this is that is the response. And I can understand her journey. She said, me in 2016, men are not that bad. feminists are over exaggerating. There's good men out there, not all men. She says, me in 2024, feminists were 100% right. I can honestly say I have become more staunch in my feminism maybe it really was the election of Trump and how these people are just so bold with putting how they feel about us online. I was totally a pick me. I was a total, not all men. I was totally saying, don't say all, say some. I was doing that. But regardless, that has been beat out of me. But I did say, ooh, girl, there's so much content in this one post. Some of the responses, the women know and see what we're all experiencing. And this is a woman speaking on it. She says, thanks for all the free speech, Musk. Now that I know what men think, why would I marry one? Why would I give birth to one? Why would I vote for one? So it's really making women become more staunch in pushing back, because what's the point? Mary says they are so rude these days and aren't even trying to become successful and thinking women should accept them, or when they become successful, they shouldn't stay faithful to only one woman, all while expecting respect, love, and support and children from women. This man says, I'm going to white knight a bit here and actually agree with this. Some of the crap I've heard my younger cousins say, I can't help but say, yikes. I let them know they should plan to be bitter and single forever if that's how they really feel about women, let alone actually voice those opinions in public about it. Don't get me wrong, both sexes are on some stupid these days, but the whole rise of the Sigma or alpha male persona stuff is insanely cringe to the point where I wonder if it's a psyop. So this man, he was reluctant to agree, even though it's very blatant, but at least he's telling these younger cousins that, maybe they should get their stuff together. He's at least trying. Most of these men stay silent. John says, cool, enjoy the bear. Bud, I don't give a F, says most guys don't hate women. If they did, they would be going around teaching them to be feminists to make sure they stay lonely and bitter. Men don't need to teach us to be feminists. Like, that's not even your job. Why would we listen to you about being a feminist? Oh, these dudes are wild. William says, right on, choose the bear, enjoy cats. They are so creative. Bud again says, there's a lot of bad guys out there. That's a problem. The solution is not to hate all men. She did not say anything about hating all men. That's just lazy and will make you miserable. Literally the same advice we give racist people. She didn't tell anybody to hate anybody. She said that she's losing respect based on what they are saying about women. Now, this person, Smith, says, blah, 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 make me hungry, make sandwich. So obviously very in-depth and profound comment right there. Shaboose Groy says, just lose some weight and stop being stupid. Then men will like you again, and you won't have to be bitter anymore. Like usual, you are the problem. Right. Really focusing on, the things that they say in public to women and the fact that she's lost respect. Yeah, that's the issue. Lose some weight. Arkansas says, have you ever considered to look at film and media or online posts made about men? How disgusting, spiteful, and hateful they are towards us. And your feelings are hurt because men don't give a about you. Clean yourself up if you want to be respected. Okay. Midwest Ordinance says, no sane man would want to be with feminazis. Okay. And this one tickled me. This man says, anything else to add? And there is a mic being held up to a box of wine, some Valium, Ozempic, Adderall, because that's all women are doing, are self-medicating, I guess. At least this one was a little bit different. There were no cats involved in this comment. So this content creator, listen, my son made this tweet. 80% of single men are no longer interested in dating. They are not even trying. Why is this the case? Men only. And then Chris Alvino says, as a men's dating coach who's worked with hundreds of men in the past decade, so many thoughts, too many to write. But if you want to know the common thread, you can see it all in all of the replies. So much self-pity and women blaming and very little taking responsibility. He has a whole thread. He says, putting the economic issue of late capitalism aside, which is definitely a factor because everyone is broke and burnt out, Many men who aren't that affected by this are deeply disillusioned by dating because they've been indoctrinated into the manosphere way of thinking about women. Many are angry, miserable, and blame women and the woke mind virus on their dating woes, not realizing they've lost or never developed the ability to connect to people, including women, on a non superficial level. Every relationship for them is transactional in nature. When you are constantly focused on the transactional nature of a relationship, you will be miserable and you will become burnt out. They see no joy in meeting new people and bringing new women into their lives. That's the saddest part. My own life is made richer with every new connection I make, whether it's platonic, romantic, or sexual in nature. Every new woman I meet has the potential to enrich and bring joy into my life. I meet new women every day, and many become friends and confidants. Many others become romantic and sexual partners. Men who cannot see the value in this are the ones who constantly complain about the loneliness epidemic and have no female friends, and then wonder why dating sucks. If dating makes you feel miserable as a guy, that is 90% a skill issue and 10% a possible logistics issue. We actually have it a lot easier than women do on this front because we're expected to make the first move. This means we only have to date women we're crazy about, as opposed to women who often have to filter lots of crappy men out before they get to the gold ones. There are better ways to date as a man, and the men in the replies haven't learned how to do it yet. So they end up spending all of their time in manosphere bitching circles. And it creates this negative loop, feedback loop. When they hear other men bitch about women, it validates their flawed worldview and they become more entrenched in their resentment of women. It then becomes a self fulfilling prophecy because who wants to date a guy who deeply resents them? I should also add that the pandemic has made dating incredibly challenging as well. I currently can't date because of this, but I've still had fun on virtual dates with women, even as I laid in bed with long COVID, unable to physically date. But notice none of these replies mention COVID-19. He said, "Damn, this really popped off. I currently have nothing to pitch since my biz is on hiatus due to long COVID, but I'm bringing it back online next month, so follow for more posts like this. And if you want to help support me, feel free to donate to my mom's GoFundMe on my pinned post." He really did sum it up, and I'm glad that a man said it because us women say this stuff all the time that they just come across as bitter. And what woman with any sense will read that and be like, you know what, you feel aggrieved, so yes, I need to date you. So I'm glad that a man has put this out with he has some sense about it. Now, some of the replies to Listen, My Son are just exactly what he said. I'm just going to do a couple. Dark Triad Theory says the juice isn't worth the squeeze. Modern women don't bring anything to the table other than their bodies, no personality, no cooking skills, no femininity. You give her the whole world and she gives you every reason to dump her. Focus on yourself. And Listen, My Son says, sure, pretty girls are everywhere, but a woman that supports you and prays for you is rare. Life Money Mindset says the dating game is rigged. They want a man to depend on when they are broke, but when they have money, they want independence. Men are getting wise and saying two can play that game. Yeah, that's all it is about is money, not connections or anything. Listen, My Son says, true, even the strong, independent women still want men to pay for everything, knowing damn well they have the means themselves. Really makes you think why they want their own money in the first place. And Nick Linkless says, the wrong woman will set you back years. Basically, I really do hope these men stay far, far away from women and just date each other because obviously they do not like women or what we bring. And all they can ever think about is the transactions, just like that man Chris said. All right, join the conversations. Let me know what you think about these tweet threads. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.